This home was really one to remember. Built in 1920, it had a great porch with ample room to place chairs out and stare right into the cemetery that was right across the street. No kidding, even at night it was more than apparent of what you were looking at. Now, personally, I don't mind this. I even saw it as a bit of a selling point, but not for what we were doing. When we walked in, we were inside a small room and we could imagine that being the living room. There was a fireplace, but it had since been sealed off since it was a coal-burning one. I never really understood what's the case with sealing off coal-burning fireplaces, and if somebody can explain this to me in the comments, that would be great. I really couldn't find anything in the search. Anyway, the living room was kind of cramped and dated, which makes sense due to the home's date, of course. The first room we came to as we ventured down the hallway was a bit small, but really wasn't that bad. The hardwood floors were a big plus for sure. When we entered the kitchen, we found a few problems. First, the appliances were way out of date and had seen better days. Also, the kitchen seemed to have been broken off into two rooms. The stove was completely separate from where the sink basin was, and on top of it, the water heater took up a fair portion of that section. If my wife were to wash vegetables, she would have to travel across the kitchen to take them to the stove. Another aspect of this that didn't really work for us was there really wasn't any room to dine. We'd have to put the dining table in the middle of the kitchen or something. But it just wasn't apparent what we needed to do. When it came to the bathrooms, however, they actually looked pretty good, as did the other two rooms, a second of which also had a sealed-off fireplace. I didn't film the yard, but it was quite small and definitely needed a little bit of TLC. Concord is around 30 minutes from Central Charlotte and Charlotte Douglas Airport. While a big price point of $229,900 is good and the drive to Charlotte and the airport is decent, what we'd have to do and improve in the home to fit into what we want to do would make it a bit difficult, and the fact that there's a cemetery right across the street might cut into our Airbnb profits and leave a few less guests coming into our doors. So with all that considered, I give it 3 out of 5. The neighborhood really wasn't all that bad, and I kind of liked the cemetery.
But there's a lot of, like one of these places here, and maybe it's down the block, you go in and there's all sorts of shops on 3 different levels, and there's art and stuff, and it's really cool. French bakery right here.
Well, you're just the best local guide ever. So this is downtown Concord.
Yes.
This is.
Yep. And that's a great, that's Union Street Square. That's one I was talking about. There's all kinds of stuff in there.
Okay.
Cabert's Creamery, where they have ice cream like that they used to making
Seems
here.
like most shops are already closed around 7.
Oh yeah,
Um,
nobody's gonna be out around this time. Especially with COVID and everything. Times are a little bit shorter. Now you're gonna have a lot of attorneys and stuff like that too, because these are municipal buildings. The courthouse is right here. But there's also
Cigar law. Nice. That place that you can just go up there
good
and smoke.
places to eat.
Wow.
Law,
we passed-
law offices. Yeah.
We passed by
I
there.
like to try local food. Really. Even hot dogs.
Yeah.
They must
Well,
have
Look at that church.
tasty hot dogs.
Look at
Wow.
up there even.
Oh wow! I see a lot of.
I love those old ones. They were so ornate.
Yeah, just when people go, like, oh man, it was so sad when what was it, Notre Dame burned down.
In the Paris, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, old churches are so beautiful. You don't even need to share the religion to share the beauty, right? You need
See
to-
those windows on the side? You
Yeah.
can tell that one's a really old place too, just by seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll have to go back here during the daytime.
Well,